Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of Here Today, Storm Tomorrow on Force 13. It's a Force 13 production that will be rounding up the latest storm activity as well as other features. Essentially, these programs will feature content that regular viewers are familiar with in the tropical weather bulletins and in the project updates. We're combining those things and we're adding a few more things as well. And hopefully it will be an enjoyable and a long-running series. We're planning to run it every single day, that includes weekends hopefully, and of course we'll be talking about the latest storm activity and plenty of other stuff besides. The planned upload time for these things every single day is around midnight UTC, so in the United States that's in the evening along the East Coast, around 8 PM in the evening or 7. Over towards the other side of the world in the Philippines, for instance, that's at 8 AM PHT, and in Australia it's around 10 AM on the East Coast. So anyway, formalities over and done with. Let's first take a look at where we stand in 2015. Right, so we've seen 3 tropical storms so far this year. 2 of those have become Category 1 hurricanes or their equivalents around the world, and 1 of those has become a Category 3 storm. That of course was Cyclone Bansi, which went on to become a Category 5 storm, the first one of the year, and a very early one at that. It's quite rare that we see a Category 5 storm form anywhere around the world in January, really. And that hasn't changed at all. And if we look for each particular location around the world, of course, only 1 storm in the Northern Hemisphere so far compared to 2 in the Southern Hemisphere, which is, again, to be expected at this time of year. Looking at our individual storms then, right, this is the latest information as of 9 PM UTC. It won't have changed much. What's left of Tropical Depression Mekhala in the Western Pacific, Philippine name Amang. It passed over the Philippines, is now hugging the coastline, the east coast of Luzon, as a barely tropical depression. Winds around 30 miles per hour, possibly lower than that now, and it's barely doing anything to the Philippines. That's why the warnings have been lifted now. Bansi turned extratropical a few hours ago. That's moving quite quickly towards the southeast into the South Indian Ocean, well out at sea. And of course we have Cyclone Chedza, which weakened, is now a tropical depression as well, has been since it struck Madagascar a few days ago, but does still have the chance to become a tropical storm as it moves out to sea, or subtropical, or whatever it is now, as it moves towards the southeast, and eventually turn extratropical in around 2 or 3 days' time, just like Bansi. So to recap their positions: Mekhala 16.2 degrees north, 121.7 degrees east; Chedza 35 miles per hour, 23.5 degrees south, 52.5 degrees east; and Bansi winds of 45 miles per hour going down, 27.6 degrees south, 82 degrees east, believed to be extratropical. So of course the forecast, not much of a forecast for them. I already outlined Chedza, but in terms of Mekhala, the storm's expected to move towards the north. It won't last much longer as an entity really, but what's left of it will move towards the north and then go out to sea, probably into the Western Pacific, and possibly glide east of Taiwan. And of course, no warnings in effect anywhere around the world, I don't believe. Reunion might have a pre-alert, but I don't think it will last very long. No real worry for cyclone conditions occurring there. Signal 1 warnings were lifted in the Philippines around 2 hours ago. Looking at the world's sea surface temperatures, around 30 degrees Celsius on the east coast of Madagascar is the highest you'll get. Where the storm is right now, Chedza, it's probably around 28 or 29 degrees, 28 degrees in the Mozambique Channel, as well as over Reunion and Mauritius, around there, 28 degrees, 30 Celsius around Australia, particularly the northern coasts, 29 degrees over Fiji, 28 degrees near Guam, 29 degrees over the Micronesian islands, and 26 on average in the South China Sea. Looking at the satellite imagery then, not much is left of Mekhala, as I pointed out. You can see a little bit of rain here and there, but not too much going on around the storm. I think the main threat really will be the odd gust here and there, to be quite honest. And most of the storm is now gone. Of course, it did reach typhoon strength and struck Samar at or near that intensity. Looking at the imagery for Bansi, you can see how that's clearly turned extratropical in the past few hours. And Chedza, you can see the bands there on the left hand side, they're just falling short of striking Madagascar, so no real threat there either. The rain shouldn't be affecting Madagascar too much, and if it does, it will only be the coastal regions, but that's fairly unlikely. So now let's cross to one of our first ever features that we've done with another presenter, believe it or not. It's not just me here this evening, and now we're going to cross over to Daniel Hudson and the On This Day section.
Hello, my name's Daniel Hudson, and here's a look back at what happened on this day in the world of storms. At Force 13 we're building a database of what happened each day in the storm record. Formation, dissipation, landfall dates and anything else that's interesting. Currently we stand at 3,021 entries, and it's ever growing. On January 19th, Tropical Depression Hannah formed in the Western Pacific in 1997, and Tropical Storm Darren formed in 2005 in the open Indian Ocean. Cyclone Eric affected Madagascar on this day in 2009, killing 2. Fennell formed on the very same day in the nearby Mozambique Channel, and 3 years later Tropical Storm Funso formed over these very same waters. Also in 2012 Ethel formed out at sea in the Indian Ocean, and in 2014 Tropical Storm Deliway passed close to Madagascar, claiming another 2 lives in the process. That's all from me, and now we return back to the studio.
And welcome back to the studio. That was rather informative, wasn't it? And we're doing that every day as well. And we'll also in future be covering Predictor Season 2015, how that's going day by day in the scoring. We haven't quite prepared that for this episode, but we will have that in the very near future, hopefully tomorrow. By the way, if you do want to enter Predictor Season 2015, you can do so. Go on the website, force13.com/ I think it's PAS 2015, but I'll just confirm that by putting the link at the bottom of the screen right now, hopefully with the magic of video editing. So more on that tomorrow. You can submit a prediction anytime you like, before November of course. So let's take a look at the storm totals for this calendar day. Then of course I mentioned it's 3-2-1-1, 3 tropical storms, 2 cyclones, 1 major cyclone and 1 category 5 storm. Now how does that compare? Well, it's 3 days behind 2014 in terms of tropical storms, because it reached 4 3 days ago on the calendar day, January the, what would that make it, the 16th? It reached 4, and since then it went to 6 as well. So on this day last year we had 6 tropical storms that had formed, so we're falling a little bit behind, but it did have a quick start 2014. And of course we're 1 storm behind 1992 for this day as well, which turned out to be the busiest season worldwide on record with 103. Of course we've already seen 1 Cat 5, which is earlier than any of the other years we've got featured here, 2014, 2013, 1996 and 1992. The first one of those to reach a first Category 5 storm was 92, which had that on the 8th of March, so quite a way off yet. And now I believe we shall finish off our first Here Today Storm tomorrow. I hope you've enjoyed it. And we're going to feature one of our animations of old, I suppose you could call it, and that is a season that turned out to be rather similar to 2014 in terms of storm numbers in the Atlantic, the 1956 Atlantic hurricane season. And I hope you enjoy this video and all the others to come. We'll have plenty more features in the next video as well. That's all for now. Thank you for watching.